Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you back to this weekly edition of the cricket show, Cricket Happenings. It was really a sort of I would say, a very eventful week, no doubt about it. So, as far as today's week's proceedings are concerned, India having a clean sweep over the West Indies in the ODI series. So, I will look at the ODI series between India and West Indies and just talk about it in general. And then, as you know, Sri Lanka are in Australia playing the T20 series, which Australia have already won the first T20, but I thought Sri Lanka played very well. We'll talk about that as well. And the IPL is hotting up. As you know, the auctions are going on. I'll talk about the $1 million cricketers in the IPL 2022, which is coming up in the month of March. Uh, and and also, uh, okay, I'm going to create an ad option as well. So basically, uh, I'm going to talk about that. And also, we had a bombshell drop by England when they actually announced their tour for the West Indies by dropping their prime bowlers, James Anderson and Stuart Broad. And then some other cricket, whatever is there, depending on the time, we will keep it going. So let's start. This particular cricket show then. First, let's head off to India versus West Indies, the ODI series, and India totally dominating the West Indies. But if you look at it in a very, in a direct angle, one could say the Indian batting. I have to say that the top order has not been so good because even though Rohit Sharma played one good innings, I thought the top order was not consistent according to me. So the West Indian bowlers could really penetrate. But if you look at the scores there, so let's first talk about what went wrong for the West Indies. For the West Indies, what went wrong was their batting. Their batting is something which needs to be addressed. If you look at the scores, they have not totted up a score of even anything. They're not hit the 200 mark in the entire ODI series, and that really says a lot that this West Indies batting has been brittle, but their bowling has been good because they have been managing to restrict India to 237. India have not been able to run up with big scores. Also, probably the state of the pitch as well, because this particular pitch, it was interesting to see that this particular pitch in Ahmedabad definitely had the bowlers interested with extra pace and bounce as well. So it was a good contest. A good contest in the sense, definitely going India's way. But I thought for West Indies, the problem was their brittle batting. And besides that, their bowling was good. I have to say the bowling was good. But I thought the Indian bowling was much superior to the West Indies. And that's the precise reason India went on to win this particular ODI series. So just talking about this India series, if you look at it, Rohit Sharma, I thought, it would have been a very good thing for Rohit Sharma because he went on to take the he went on to have the his first ODI series as the captain, and he won it so under his belt, and that will be a great feeling for Rohit Sharma. As far as Shreyas Iyer was concerned, he looked well, but in patches one could call. But his last innings of 80 could have definitely he could have gone through to a century, but it was not to be. He was out for 80. He himself knew it. He was shooting himself in the foot there when he was talking in front of the mic after the post-match presentation. So Shreyas Iyer, but definitely it was a shaky innings, I thought. But later on, he slowly got into his groove. 80 of 111 deliveries. And Prasidh Krishna, the player of the series, was the man who really turned it on for India. I mean, to bowl nine. I mean, this bloke, Prasidh Krishna, if I recall it correctly, it was the former Indian captain Virat Kohli actually looking at him in the I think in the IPL probably had this to say. I still remember his words. He said that Prasidh Krishna is some real material. And that's the precise reason I think he went for a particular tour. I don't remember against which team, but he definitely went. And from there on, we have seen this Prasidh Krishna. What he does is that he's a sort of a hit the deck bowler. He generates extra pace compared to the other Indian bowlers, and he also generates a lot of bounce because of his height. And look at the rewards. I mean, what a dream spell he bowled. 9 overs, 12 runs, and 4 wickets. That's splendid bowling analysis. 4 wickets, and he ended up with 9 wickets in this series, and he really gave nothing away. Even in the, if you look at the final ODI, I think he did a wonderful job. 8.1 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 27. He not only throttled the runs, he also picked up some vital wickets. And that's for everyone to see that Prasidh Krishna is sort of an upcoming bowler. So definitely, it's a very good good thing to have some hot competition. We know that we have our regular bowlers like Shami and Bumrah, but also it's very good to know that Prasidh Krishna is not far behind. I can tell you that after this ODI series against West Indies, what we once saw is that he has really perfected his art, and he was getting the ball to bounce, and he really did the West Indians in. If you look at the Indian card, I mean, Virat Kohli, now that's a question mark. I mean, I know that I was under the impression that Virat Kohli, after being relieved of the captaincy, would probably amongst the runs, but it is not to be. And Virat Kohli, probably I think it was the first or second ODI, one saw that he was really looking to go like a train. I mean, he was trying to put every ball probably into the fence or out, over the fence, and he paid for it. And in the final ODI, he was sussed up very well by Azari Joseph. He nicked a leg side Delvich. So a lot of cheap dismissals as far as Virat Kohli is concerned. So that's a bit of a matter of concern. Shikhar Dhawan, I thought he could have played a much better, but he definitely played one good innings, I reckon. Rohit Sharma also played one good innings. Rishabh Pant, I think once he was guilty of throwing his wicket away, but other than that, yesterday, it was a rescue mission by Shreyas and Rishabh Pant after the top order was shaved off by the West Indies. I thought these two people. Now, Surya Kumar Yadav, as I said, to me, he belongs to all the formats of the game for India because he's a complete cricketer, and I'm really happy to see that Surya Kumar Yadav is someone who probably is going to cement his place in all the formats. And I mean, what I like about Surya Kumar Yadav is demeanor. As he comes to the crease, he looks very imperious. I mean, he's not rattled by any of the opposition bowler's reputation. As he soon comes in, he settles down. The first shot itself is a shot of absolute confidence. And that really talks about this particular batsman, Surya Kumar Yadav. And I like this nickname of his, Sky. Absolutely. A wonderful name to have, nickname Surya Kumar Yadav, Sky. And I think he's a really a wonderful player, Surya Kumar. Nice to watch on the eye, stylish. Now, another thing for India has been the coming up of Washington Sundar. Now, Washington Sundar, as you know, has been out of cricket for quite a long time. He did not even play in the World Cup, as you know, but this man is really, he has shown it in Australia, as you would remember, and here he comes in. What a knock here. I mean, he comes in and makes 33, and bowling is definitely a big plus. We know that. He's primarily a bowler and is a useful batsman. He showed us why, and Washington Sundar, it's very good to see Washington Sundar back into business. Deepak Chahar, now another very good all-rounder. In the absence of Hardik Pandya, India are definitely looking out for a finisher. And for me, this bloke, Deepak Chahar, could be a good finisher because he is someone who is not afraid to bang the ball into the boundary or probably over the boundary. He really gives it some, he generates some very good power and nice timing as well. And so Deepak Chahar to me could be a good finisher. Yes, we know that Rohit Sharma has definitely hinted that he's looking out for a good finisher for India. Yes, India definitely need a good finisher in the absence of Hardik Pandya, who was a good finisher. And is also looking at the other thing, Mohammad Siraj. Well, he always bowls his heart out. He's probably the prime strike bowler right now. with the other bowlers not being there. Prasidh Krishna, as I said, is closely following him. Kuldeep Yadav coming back, yes, he did his job as well, and so that was a good thing to see. If you look at the West Indies batting, now this is the problem area for the West Indies. The reason they have lost this ODI series, that Simmons said, as Kieron Pollard said, they have not been able to play their full quota of overs. That has been a big question mark, and that's the precise reason they have never ever reached a total of 200. Yes, credit to the Indian bowlers, no doubt about it. And if you look at the batting, well, Brandon King is a tremendous talent. We know Shai Hope is a good talent as well, but Shai Hope has been a big failure in this particular ODI series. I'd say that Brandon King has looked the part, but probably faltered at the wrong time, I would say. Darren Bravo to me was someone who probably I was under the impression that Darren Bravo could have made way for some other player, probably because of his experience. He was still kept in the squad, and also probably the reason that Kieron Pollard could not take part in the final two ODIs because of an injury. I thought Darren Bravo is someone who was kept in the squad. Shamar Brooks, well, he could not do much. The other, one of the matches, I think he did well, but in this match he was gone for a block. Puran again. We know that Nicholas Puran is a bundle of talent, but unless and until you're going to put those big scores, now it's high time. I think Nicholas Puran has to show some big consistency. Now that is something which is lacking in Nicholas Puran, who was the captain in the absence of Kieron Pollard. Now that is what I would like to see from Nicholas Puran. Jason Holder. Now Jason Holder, well, he did a great job. I thought he was the sort of a real pivotal figure for West Indies. If you look at the batting and the bowling, he was there when the chips were down. His bowling was good. Fabian Nolan, I thought could have done much better than what he did. Alzari Joseph, yes, he was good. In fact, he also showed his batting skills yesterday with his 29. Now, for me, the best thing to happen for West Indies, we know this was going to happen. Odin Smith was on his first tour of India, and here he was. I think this particular person, according to me, I will call him a sort of a short dynamite. The reason I say that is because he is very short and he hits the ball long and big with enormous power. He has modeled himself, as he said, on none other than the mercurial all-rounder in the T20 version of the game today in world cricket. None other than his own teammate, or probably I would say his own countrymate, the West Indian Andre Russell. And Orion Smith, I like the look of this guy. I mean, he has enormous power. We know that he can hurl the ball at pace of 145 clicks, and he's pretty quick. Probably on tracks which could suit him. I mean, this was a track which really suited him because, as I said, in Ahmedabad, we definitely had the bowlers interested. That's the precise reason we could not see big scores coming up over there. Orion Smith, I think he's having a good future, according to me. Orion Smith, as I said, hits the he hits the ball long and big. Modeled himself on Andre Russell, and he's showing us why with his really, really big hits that he does. He has enormous power, and that's the precise reason. As I said, he has that extra pace as well. So that is a big plus, according to me. I mean, West Indians predominantly have been known, have a rich history of fast bowlers, and I think Odin Smith could probably go down as one of wonderful all-rounders for West Indies in the future. Looks very, very promising indeed. I think that was a big plus for the West Indies on this particular tour. Hayden Walsh, well, he just played one match and did a useful job. Kumar Roche, well, could not really, I mean, he was precisely taken. The Desmond Haynes, the West Indian new coach, actually put him in basically being an experience and also to give an early breakthroughs. I don't think he did that on a consistent basis, Bowling, as I said, Deepak Char, well, I thought they took made good use of the pitch and conditions and exploited it very well. Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and let's talk about one more guy and none other than Akil Hussain. Now, Akil Hussain, what a wonderful job. I mean, Akil Hussain, we all know that Indians are good players of spin bowling, but what Akil Hussain is showing with the lot of variations that he has, he's a very, very quick learner. And what I see from Akil Hussain is something very, very encouraging and motivating. What he does is that basically, when I've seen how he went like a breeze against England in that last over, when he almost got the West Indians to victory with slamming 30 runs when 36 runs were needed. And this bloke predominantly is a bowler with his left arm swing, has a lot of variations, and always is used in the power play overs. And I thought he's someone, he's going to be a big asset for West Indies. And I definitely agree with Ian Bishop, the West Indian cricket commentator, who very rightly said that he would like to see Akil Hussain in the Test matches. Yes, I think he will be a sort of a real force to reckon with on pitches, and especially on pitches. If the pitch is going to turn, I think he will cause havoc among the batsmen, the opposition batsmen. Well, so that is what my take is on the India West Indies ODI series. Now, very quickly, we are running on to the Australia versus Sri Lanka. Tomorrow, we get the second T20. The first T20, the Australia, as you know, the world champions, the T20 World Cup champions. Australia made 149 for 9. Now, very good bowling. Now, first, let's credit the Sri Lankan bowling. Tremendous bowling, I thought, from one of the new blokes, the tall left armer, pacer, Binura Fernando, 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 12. Splendid bowling by Binura Fernando, especially at the death. They came in and did a good job. Look at the bowling figures of Karunaratne, 2 for 22. Chamira also bowled 2 for 38. I like the look of it. Mahesh Theeksana went for a bet, but Anindu Hasaranga, 4 overs, no maiden, 38 runs with 3 wickets. And just to tell you, Anindu Hasaranga in the IPL auction has become the $1 million baby of Indian Premier League 2022. He has been roped in for $1.5 million in the IPL. We know that Wanindu Hasaranga De Silva is going to be someone who's going to be marking. He's already marked his name in Sri Lankan cricket, but he's going to go places. Let me tell you that Wanindu Hasaranga is going to be one hell of an all-rounder for Sri Lanka in the future. And he did his job as well. But let's talk about the Australia. Talking about Australia, well, Ben Mcdermott. I mean, he has been scoring so heavily in this BBL in the Big Bash League in Australia. He came there and he was selected. And look at what he did. He got his maiden T20 century by hitting 53 or 41 balls with 2 fours and 3 sixes. And he was in a partnership of 30 with Aaron Finch for the opening wicket. Other than that, so Ben Mcdermott and Josh Inglis also made his T20 debut. He was a spectator. He was just a passenger in the T20 World Cup, but finally got his nod here in the T20 debut. Contributed 23 of 18, 3 boundaries, 30 coming from the bat of Marcus Stoinis, 149 for Nasser. That West Indies Sri Lanka would be given full credit for restricting the Aussies for 149. I think that was a big plus for the Sri Lankans there in the first T20. That it was quite a different thing that Sri Lanka could not muster. They could only muster 122. And then finally they lost by only 20 runs. But looking at the Sri Lankan card there, Pratham Nissanka on the top of the order made 36. Other than that, 25 coming from Dinesh Chandimal, not out. But even though he was there at the crease with all his experience, he really could not take them to victory. But definitely looking at the bowling for the Aussies, it was a very good effort from all the bowlers. Mitchell Starc was really hit for plenty. His 4 overs costing 41 runs. Josh Hazlewood, look at the bowling of this man. Josh Hazlewood coming back, missing the Ashes, but coming back. Josh Hazlewood, 4 overs, no maiden, 4 for 12. Tremendous bowling there. Cummins 1 for 32. Stoinis none for 12. Adam Zampa took away the Man of the Match award with 3 for 18. Definitely. So tomorrow the second T20 is coming up between Australia and Sri Lanka at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and I'll be covering it on my Sunday Cricket Happening show. So that is coming up. Other than that, just wanting to talk about Anderson and Broad being the England selectors coming up very hard after the Ashes debacle against Australia, coming up and really throwing a bombshell, one could call, not having even one of their prime bowlers there by dropping both James Anderson and Stuart Broad for the series against the West Indies. And I thought probably dropping two, whether, well, they said that it is not the end of the road for them, but also let's also understand that Anderson and Broad are in the evening of their career. And I thought I would have probably thought that Anderson Broad should have been given an opportunity here. But nevertheless, so this is what it is. This is what the new team, England team management led by Andre Strauss and certain other players who are coming to the mix as well after the ouster of Ashley Giles and Chris Silverwood. I really am trying to gauge which players, but I don't have time right now to get into that. But so that is something, and also a lot of new faces. Matthew Fisher, the bowler, has been doing better in English county cricket, making his entry into the England cricket team. So I think it would be the burden would have to be shared by none other than Mark Wood, who would be the prime bowler for them. And then they have the very, very talented Ollie Robinson, and definitely they are all making their first trip to the West Indies, I reckon. Other than that, a few players have been selected. Some few heads have rolled as well. David Mallon has been removed. The one good thing to happen, according to me, is that Ben Foakes coming up as the wicket keeper. Now, I think Ben Foakes is the best wicket keeper in England right now, and I'm very happy to see him because every opportunity that he has got, I've seen that he has not only done well with well behind the sticks, but he also got the runs on the board, and that is precisely that Ben Foakes is a very, very good option. I think I'm really running short of time, but I'm just going to just have a sneak peek at the IPL. The Indian Premier League auction 2022 is underway, and today's results have produced some millionaires, and I'm going to just talk about it. So let's go and see who are the millionaires in the Indian Premier League auction. Some big names there. So I'm just going to get into that and probably tell you what exactly is the scene there. I know for a fact that some big names have become millionaires. One Hindu Hasaranga, so that is $1 million baby this time of the Indian Premier League 2022, according to me. We have Shardul Thakur, another $1 million. Nicholas Puran gets has been taken for $1 million. Harshal Patel, Kagiso Rabada, Shikhar Dhawan, Shah Rukh Khan, the very, very hard-hitting batsman, has also been like a standby player for India, for the West Indies on this the tour that just finished between the ODI series. So Shah Rukh Khan is a big hitter of the ball. Yes, so he is someone who has been. They have bought him for $1 million. I think the Chennai Super Kings, if I'm not wrong, Nitish Rana and Jason Holder, with his current form that he has also hit the $1 million bucks. So and also for the Indian players, Ishan Kishan, Deepak Chahar, the all-rounder, and Shreyas Iyer have all been bought for $1 million. So that's a great feeling, no doubt about it. So that's what it's all about. So it has been a pleasure bringing you this cricket show, Cricket Happenings. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. And tomorrow I'll be once again back in live colors on this Cricket Happenings show to once again talk about the Australia versus Sri Lanka, the second T20 that is coming up tomorrow at the SCG, at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It should be a real beauty. That's it from me, your host Ram, for today. And this is your host Ram signing off this on Saturday on 12th of February 2022. Thank you.